Hi everyone, I hope you're well and keeping safe. Thank you so much for joining me on this brand new video series where I go around the world asking people to share their confinement stories. I've just finished recording the first story using this improvised home studio, a fun and heartwarming conversation between a daughter and her parents who've been apart, literally kept apart by thousands of miles during this lockdown. Just after this.
What have been the highlights for this lockdown?
Yeah, we never spent this much time together. And my husband always play golf. We usually play 7 days a week. And the routine all different. I do my things. He always do his things. Now we are together doing things. That's the main thing now. For the breakfast, lunch, dinner, and we go for walks. And we take a small videos. I am cooking. And he helped me to direct everything. So that's the way it goes now. And the weather here is fantastic, so we don't feel very down. So that is a plus point living in here.
They've been there from January. They were supposed to come back in March.
Yes. January 14th, we arrived here and I was enjoying golf. And my wife, your mom, enjoying badminton. The routine was I get up 5:30 in the morning, get ready, catch the air-conditioned bus to our golf course, which is almost 40-45 minutes ride. Then play golf, come back by the 10:30, 11 o'clock. By the time mommy goes for badminton, so and she come back, by the time I will have a good sleep. And by 1:30, 2 o'clock, we will have our lunch. And then we sit movies or watch movies and things like that. And then evening we do rosary and we watch the movie, if it is a good movie, either English or Malayalam. And we go to bed after that. And this was the routine until lockdown happened. I think it is end of March. The lockdown came into effect, and we never got out of our flat building out at all until now. And we can order food. The food means raw material like vegetarian, mainly groceries, including milk, yogurt, egg, and various vegetables. We can get it in Kerala. And my wife cook that. And we eat mainly vegetarian food. That is what our routine, morning and evening. Basically, we do exercise after breakfast, 30, 35, 40 minutes, just to walk outside our flat on the corridor. And after lunch, maybe an hour after lunch, we do the same exercise. That is the only exercise we get. And we cannot go out of the building except to collect the material which we ordered from the security position, because nobody allowed to come to the building, anybody except the residents in this building. That is what is happening here. Now the good thing is, so now I will be in the bed until 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock with my wife. And we get up and watch news, and then we have breakfast, and then we together, and then we watch, and we cook together. I help a lot.
Really?
Yes.
I haven't heard that part, and that wasn't on the video you made.
Now, this is the advantage, big advantage of lockdown. I participate in cooking, helping, cleaning, washing, and see the machine wash the clothes, and it is my duty to spread it out.
Yeah,
well, you understand that as a journalist, I have to verify your statement with somebody else. So could I get your version of the facts more then? Is that what's happening every day, that there's true participation in all the chores around the house?
Yeah, you do.
Yes. Around the house.
Is that your version, Mom?
Yeah, yeah, he helps me. He just play a little part of my life a little bit now. He knows now how I work every day now. He thought that when he comes after the golf, I always sit on the couch. He always tell me, it's so cushy life you are having. You are always sitting on that couch. I said, yes. Now he know what he's doing, what I am doing.
Yeah, that was in England. England is different. I don't have to get up early morning because after 10 o'clock, you cannot play golf in this heat. So we start from 6:30. As soon as the sun, we can see the ball, we start playing, and by 9:30 we finish. But in England, I don't have to go that early. I don't go that early. Usually around 9 o'clock or sometime after lunch we go. And that is the routine in the UK. So what that means, I have my breakfast in the morning, go for golf. Mummy will go for exercise. She go for swimming in the Hilton Hotel. And when we come back, I won't be there. I will be gone to the golf. So we see only in the evening, But we watch the neighbors, home away, and Eastern days.
Yeah, but Mum, but I think it's only now you realized maybe what Mum's actual routine is.
Yeah, that is absolutely.
So I'm just curious, Maria, where are you today?
So I live in the northeast, and Mum and Dad live 5 minutes usually from where I am. So this has been a change for me, seeing them and making sure they're okay every day. So I'm grateful for technology, and I've adjusted to the fact that we don't know when they're going to come back.
Yeah.
And so my routine, it's a different routine for me. Like, I'm not working. I don't go to school to work anymore. So I'm like working on my own project. I'm using this time and keeping in touch with these two, making sure they're okay, they're behaving, they're not getting at each other's throats all the time.
Not all the way. We depend on each other now. We become closer like our early married life sort of time, I must say.
Oh, that's
great.
To hear that.
But Meira missing us a lot, especially Mummy's cooking, because in the evening with the excuse she was so tired, busy at work. Mummy, can I have anything to eat? So she missing that, I know.
Do you have any other family in the UK?
Yeah.
Oh, my children.
Yeah.
My sons. Two sons.
One's in Durham and the other one is in London.
Right. What are their names?
Matthew and Abraham.
Right.
Oh, AB. Yeah, Matthew's the one brother and AB is the other one. And they have their families as well.
Right. So I'm almost disappointed that the other brother hasn't got a name starting with M.
Yes.
So when you got the book of baby's name, were you stuck on the chapter for M to begin with, and they remembered to go back at the beginning?
We got two grandchildren.
The naming is little different from back in England. We have a little tradition. We inherit the name from our ancestors. For example, my son inherited my father's name as a calling name and their calling name. Surname in this part of the world is the family name. But in England, the father's surname carries on. So my father was a Mathew, but I am called Thomas. Okay, it is Mathew Thomas. We have a family name called Kannangara Mathew Thomas. My son is also Mathew because my father was Mathew. So my first son will inherit the father's name. My second son will inherit his mother's, that is my wife's father's name. So that is how her father was Abraham. That is why my second son called Abraham. My mother also, the girl's name also, my first daughter is Meira and only one daughter. And she inherited my mother's name, that is her grandmother's name. So that is how she became Mary. My mother was Mary. So that is how the nomenclature goes. But now my family onwards, being we are in Western country, England, my family will be Thomases. So that is Matthew Thomas, Abraham Thomas, Meira Thomas, and their children, my grandchildren. Matthew has got 2 grandchildren. They are called the Zachary Kannangara Matthew, Zachary Thomas, and my daughter is called Anna Thomas. Anna actually inherited my wife's name because she is Anna's grandmother. So that is how it goes.
That's
but
brilliant.
The surname will be the same.
No, that's brilliant. We, I mean, obviously, I'm French with a name like Pascal, although my granddad was Italian,
Oh,
and
I was thinking, yeah.
surname Fintoni. And we have a similar kind of custom where I've got second names, and my second name is Jean, which is my dad's first name, and Daniel in the kind of masculine form, which is my mother's first name as well. So when I apply for a mortgage, I had to put my full name of Pascal Jean Daniel Fintoni, or PPD. Yeah, no, it's so yeah, it's nice, you know, to keep some of the traditions. So you've discovered, therefore, Mol and Mathew, the wonders of video messaging and video calling. Did you used to do that a lot before?
Only we talk to the kids in Zoom like this. But too many, so we won't be able to hear much of everybody's chatting.
Yeah, we had one session with about 12, 16 from cousins from America, Dubai, the UK, and India. But to hear everyone, but it was nice to see everyone. We've never done that before with cousins, aunties, uncles. Mom and dad, no, they didn't know about Zoom, nothing. They knew WhatsApp. They were quite good at WhatsApp from the UK, but they've never videoed like that. There's only 2 of them. There's none of us there. So we were quite, I didn't know they were going to do this at all. So I woke up one morning, we have a big the family group. And everyone's like, wow, this is cool, this is cool. I'm like, what is cool? And then I looked, and Mom was doing some coconut top tips on how to grate coconuts from scratch, from the coconut.
So how did that begin? You know, where did you get the idea from? And how did you get into doing videos? How did that begin?
Just I was in the kitchen, the spur of the moment, I just said, oh, I can show this to my cousins how to do it. That's all. I was just in the trust, just doing the cooking. I was just like that. I started just. And I asked him, come on, could you please? He was free, sitting and watching the TV. I said, come on. So he said, yes. That is the only reason. My children always tell me, do something. I said, no.
Years and years we've been saying, Mom, try and start something, because, you know, like a Mol auntie, she's known as Mol auntie. So it's like something, because she cooks not just Indian, but across, just depends what's in the fridge at the time or cupboard. And so maybe this is it. This is what's come out of it. I don't know.
So by the time you're back in the UK, you'll be a YouTube sensation.
People have said that. Dad's like,
So are the videos just for the family, or are they out publicly?
Oh no,
the whole family. I mean, not a friends, but it is sent a few of our friends, very close friends. So they commented, oh, that is a good idea, great idea. In fact, a few of the families started doing the same thing and different things.
I wasn't prepared to do that, so I was just saying this and that and this and that. It wasn't like a...
So the first one Mom did in English, and then the second she tried in Malayalam, because it's her mother tongue, and it's Caroline mother tongue, and it was easier. But then she was like, oh no, I should have done it in English. But I'm wondering if we can get like a Google Translate when it comes, you know, and if we have to do it.
Yeah, that is not good.
Yeah,
but Mom's like, no, I don't want it.
No, I'm not good at it.
Yeah, I could just see it in with a nice opening credit, and we should send a copy to you know, Gordon Ramsay or Gino or someone like this. You know, they'll have contacts. You know, something can happen.
I'm not very good like that.
So if we go back, so you actually, I meant to ask you, forgive me, at the very beginning, where exactly are you in India at this moment in time?
The state is Kerala state, city called Ernakulam, or Kochi. Cochin. The airport is called Cochin International Airport, but it is actually outside of Cochin. But the name, original airport was in Kochi. That name they transferred to Cochin, and the airport transferred to the present place, which is a area called Alue. Anyway, we are in the second city, or as in many countries, the capital city is a bit quiet, politics and politicians and officers like that. So usually the thriving second city is the thriving city. It happened to be the same in England too, in India, in our state. So Kerala is the southmost state in India. The tip of India is Kerala, but shared with the Tamil Nadu, tip of Tamil Nadu. That is what, and the north shared with the Tamil Nadu on the east, and west is the Bangalore, or nowadays Canada.
Mm. And have you been yourself, Maria, to this part? Yeah.
Yeah, growing up, I went. Actually, when we first moved, when I was born, 6 months after I was born in Kerala, which is known as God's country as well. They nicknamed that God's own country. I went to Jamaica. My dad just left and went to Jamaica to try and work out there. And so my first 5 years of my life was in Jamaica. It's probably why I like reggae music and stuff. And
from Jamaica to the northeast, were the rough deal?
Yeah, it was a bit more different south, and back then flights were expensive from Jamaica, and Mom and Dad would write. They would tell me they wrote a lot of letters before going. And then I think, I don't know, maybe I was 10 when I first went properly again. And we were very lucky that we got to go every summer, although the summer holiday was monsoon season. It's a lot of rain. And I got to I can speak my mother tongue. I can't read or write it, but I can speak it. And so that helped when I was in Kerala, because my grandparents particularly, a lot of them speak English now, but it helps when you have a conversation in that dialect. And I haven't been for about this year. I was actually supposed to go after 7 years of not going, which is very unusual for me, to just go back. But I always say I'd like to go back one day as a tourist, because I'd like to explore Kerala. Like, there's tea plantations, there's jungle kind of tree houses, where you can go and stay, and there's so many things I'd like to do. Maybe one day.
So when, forgive my ignorance, but when you go there, can you fly from Newcastle? Do you go? Yeah. What's the journey to get there?
Emirates flies direct, so a stop in Dubai and then on to Kochi. It's Cochin. But used to be, Mom and Dad will know, they had 3 of us. There were no flights from Newcastle, so we'd get the coach, the National Express coach from Newcastle at 11 p.m. Get to the airport at 6 a.m.
Heathrow
Airport, yeah.
Heathrow, yeah, and that's it. And then that was a long. And also, there's 5 tickets to pay for. Back then, it was much harder.
So when did you first hear about what was happening, and that a confinement and lockdown was imminent? So if I start with you, Mol and Mathew, do you remember when you first heard that things were about to change?
March end. Last end, 18th, 19th at that time. March 19th.
No, lockdown it didn't come. The news of this corona outbreak is by the second week of March. And we continue, no restriction, nothing at that point. 22nd, 23rd, curfew happened, and because of that, then the next day onwards, nobody is allowed to go out or group meetings, and we stopped our golf tournament that weekend is cancelled, and the golf course is closed, and all those happened from 2nd or 22nd or 23rd of March. And as I said, we never out of this building since then.
Mm. And where'd you get the news from? I mean, do you have like an official TV channels, official announcement from government?
Oh, I mean, all the channels in Kerala, 4 or 5 news channels, and we have BBC World News, we have CNN, and we have Al Jazeera. All this, all the news we get here, and also Malayalam channels. All the developments what is happening all over the world, particularly Europe, America, we get that all news here. So it is, if I want to watch movies, there are a few channels who does only English movies, and old English movies, they all show very well, very good movies, and many of them I haven't seen. I am not only to spend time, I enjoy those. I know a few good actors, and whenever they are acting, I like acting rather than fighting and shooting and that sort of things. I don't enjoy the space movies and those sort of things. But good acting stories I like to watch. Personally,
So,
both of us.
What was the last good film you've seen then?
Oh, yesterday, what was that? Oh, I don't remember much a name. Only I enjoy the act, honestly. Malayalam movies. We don't watch Malayalam. Sandra Bullock's movie I have watched.
What is that?
Well, you remember her, but you don't remember the title.
The romantic movie.
It's a romantic movie. Anyway, I mean that Tom Hanks movie was there recently. One of the good movies, and our what is that? Julie Roberts acted.
Oh, Dad said that he liked that Eat, Pray, Love, or Eat.
Our English actor.
English
actor, famous English actor.
Well, there's quite a few.
I know.
Ryan.
Oh no.
Oh, Meg.
Anyway,
they sometimes tell me what's going on, and I'll be like, it hasn't been confirmed here, because they've heard it on the BBC World News.
Yeah,
and they're like, oh, this is what's happening in England now. And I'm like, really? Okay, I'm just getting up. So they've heard it before we've got up here.
I mean, I will say that we went away on holiday, and we were very lucky to go to Mauritius just before the confinement, so a bit closer to you, but not still a distance away. And at the hotel, very much like you described, they had different news channels, including French and German ones and so on. And when we came back to the UK, it made me realize how incredibly restricted the news is. You just hear from the BBC as opposed to hearing from all the other nations, including India and Africa. And that, whilst I was in Mauritius, I had a more rounded understanding, more broad understanding of what was going on. And I missed that, which is why actually I invented this series, Confinement Stories, because I do believe that if you speak to people around the world, you're going to get just different perspective, different personal stories, which I think are greater than what you can get in the media. So what about you, Maria? You've been catching up on movies and TV series during that extra time?
To be honest, I haven't seen any movies. My TV is very rarely on. It was to begin with, just to find out the news, and I just thought it was a lot of negativity. And I will see the briefings, because you just need to keep, in touch. But I think now I'm just concentrating on just doing my projects, and if I could volunteer, maybe that's what I would do in time. And I'm also meditating a lot more and doing yoga, because now everything's on Zoom, it's accessible, so more than TVs and stuff. And I feel really just enjoying this time now, like getting into some kind of routine. I'm trying anyway, it's
I think
surreal.
You're right. I mean, if you I discovered, I rediscovered the fact that I can't allow particularly the news and whichever to dictate my week or my mood in particular, because it's very stressful and upsetting, to get that. So you need to find something to balance it out. Can you say a bit more about those projects of yours, or not?
Yeah,
So
I'd be happy to.
What are you
So
working on?
I want to start this Mayra the Empowerer, and it's based on me empowering young people, particularly with and equipping them with tools so they can embrace who they are and just be unique and build their confidence and self-esteem. So because I believe that children, I know it's a cliche, it's the future, you know, it's that Whitney Houston song, but there is so much brilliance in children and young people, and I don't think we're tapping into it enough. And so it's about nurturing that generation. So that's primarily what I'm trying to establish as me, Mayra, the empowerer with an A on the end, and it fills me up with joy that I can uplift others. That's the concept, and possibly working with parents as well, to you know, make everyone much more happier and joyous, and with their communication lines better, if I can help. Especially now, I think there's testing times in families from both, you know, and it's that message about everyone will be processing it differently. So it's not because there's less love going on. Sometimes it's just they're just handling it differently. So I've worked in education for about 20 years now, and I've seen this, and you know, and I've been there where there's been a lot of believers that don't believe in me, or I know what it's like, and and the people who have believed in me, I know what that feeling is just amazing. So I want to spread that message that through empowerment we can uplift and create the brilliance that is in everybody.
Absolutely. No, I think that's wonderful. Well, let's make sure we keep in touch about those projects.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
listen, our time together is nearly coming to an end. It's gone so fast, hasn't it?
Yes.
I was wondering, Mol and Mathew, I mean, obviously this will come to pass, and we look forward to, you know, welcoming you back to the UK. In, you know, when this is the case, and you can look back at, you know, this interesting time you're spending together in India, what would you like the memory to be of that time? What would you like, you know, your lasting memory of that unique period of time in your life to be?
For me, until I retired, I am retired now. Until I retired, I was busy with my work. Get up 7 o'clock, at the work 8 o'clock, coming back for lunch, and then go back after a little rest for evening surgery. Come back by 6, 7 o'clock, and that routine was going on. When I retired, I start playing golf to get the time. I learned and I start playing, which I enjoy a lot. I'm addicted to that now too, I must say. So from that, moving away from the family setup, little bit away, now we, husband and wife, come very closer, more understanding, and that is what is happening now. Which I think it is a great memory. And at this age, we are not going to be, I hope we will continue the same way as until our time. And that is what the great memory from this. I think it is a blessing in disguise, you know, people say. And probably all this happened, it may be do some good for some people, certainly to us, and our life together will make a lot difference. And so that is the big highlight I have to mention. I think I will have that treasure with me rest of my life.
That's very touching. What about you, Mol?
Yeah, that is the because I can spend. I always complain that he never spend any time with. He never talk to me. Always he's busy. When I talk to him, he say, "Move, go away. I am doing this. He never find time. So now I said that plenty time. When I do something, I call him. Come on, help me. And we are getting along much better than used to be. It's always, I think that's the good memory for me when I go to England. Hope it will continue. You will understand me now, what I am saying.
But the question is when we can fly back to England.
It's a bit scary.
It is a bit scary. It is up and down at the moment.
We wanted to be with our children.
We miss the children, even though we see
grandchildren.
them every day on the phone, FaceTime, and that sort of way we see them. Still, we are not with them physically.
No, it is hard. Yeah.
Really.
I mean, we are not the only one. Many people in the world are in the same boat.
But we pray that we are alive. Say that's every day we are seeing the morning, and that's the thankful for God to do that.
Can I ask you the same question, Maria? Then, what would like to be your memory to be when this has come to pass?
I think just how people have adapted to skills, and it's pretty amazing what's actually gone on. Within weeks, we've had hospitals built, we've had Parliament pushing through, policies. That's pretty amazing to me, how people can actually do things when they need to. It's proven that, and communities have come together, and it's the kindness that I see, and the memory of here, particularly in England, the key workers, not just the doctors and nurses. There's a long distance driver that had written that I'm not as embarrassed about my job because people are saying, well done, without you. And these are the kind of things that are being noticed more.
Yeah.
And also for me personally, I'm just grateful that people around me are safe and well. I'll never take that for granted. And my creativity has come out of this as well, which was not, I suppose, because I've got a little bit more time. I've written 2 poems now, and now I'm enjoying that side of it as well, because time's allowed that, just to work to slow down, life to slow down a little bit. As much as I feel I'm doing lots of things, I know that there's more time, and I've loved that. It's yeah.
Listen, I can't thank you enough, the 3 of you, to have joined this conversation and helped me launch this new project, Confinement Stories. As I mentioned to you earlier, Mol, you've been one of the furthest away guests of Mol and Mathew, and by far the earliest guest as well. Are you normally up that early, Maria, at all? Or?
No, I'm not normally, but recently, because of this yoga, and I've been helping a friend get her workout before she goes to work, because she's a medic in London, and 5 o'clock I've been getting up just to do stuff like workouts. So I was like, yes, it's usually I'm a night owl, but I've got into that kind of routine a little bit.
Smashing.
Get up at 5 and went back to bed for an hour. Today I was like, yes. Pascal, thank you for this. I'm serious. We really thank you for this time.
Oh, not at all. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm sending you via the internet lots of love and best wishes. And we, well, not just me, but I know your family will want you back as soon as possible, safe and sound. And please, let's keep in touch in some ways, because I'm sure not just me, but our viewers and listeners will be very keen to know what is happening to Mol and Mathew. Are they, coming back, and when, and so on. Particularly as Mol, you need to prepare yourself. When you become a YouTube sensation, all your fans will be asking questions, and you'll have to give answers.
Oh, thank you very much for inviting us too. And thank you, Meira, for organizing this. We didn't know how, but anyway, thanks very much, everybody, both of you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Take care. Thanks, Pascal. Thank you. Bye, Mom. Bye, Dad.